Musicians Talk Show is brought to you by Bandzoogle. Bandzoogle makes it easy to build a stunning website for your music in minutes. Choose from hundreds of mobile-friendly themes, then customize your design and content in a few clicks with Bandzoogle's easy visual editor. All the features you need for a professional website are already built in, including tools to sell your music and merch commission-free right on your website, mailing list tools to grow your fan list and send newsletters, integrations to pull in content from all your online services like Twitter, Instagram, and SoundCloud, and live support from their musician-friendly team 7 days a week. Bandzoogle plans start at just $8.29 a month and include your own free custom domain name. So go to bandzoogle.com to try it free for 30 days, and be sure to use the promo code TMTS to get 15% off your first year of your subscription. Okay, before we get started, Matt and I have lots of great ideas to improve the podcast, but we can't do it without you. So if you want to help us grow, click support the show at musicianstalkshow.com and consider signing up for our Patreon. We have tons of great perks and rewards for you, such as early guest reveals, a weekly live Q&A, and access to a monthly exclusive episode only for our patrons.
Sign up for our mailing list on our website to gain access to our private community on Discord. There you can communicate with Dallas and I directly about all things TMTS. You can also follow at Musicians Talk Show on Instagram to discover new episodes, vote in polls, and join the conversation.
Thanks for listening, and enjoy the show. It's episode 52 of the Musicians Talk Show, and welcome. I'm one of your two co-hosts, Dallas Dwight.
And I'm Matt Tolley.
What's up, Matt?
What up?
How you guys doing?
Dude, episode 52.
Episode 52, man.
Killing
the number
it.
keeps getting bigger because we keep not stopping.
When are we going to turn it around? We'll start going down episodes. What do you
Yep,
think?
so our plan is to get to episode 100, and then we just count down back to 0.
Totally. Then we go back up.
And then we just go negatives.
Yep.
This is episode negative 86. Like,
Yeah. Great.
we're stupid.
Yep.
One thing that's been bugging me that I wanted to talk a little bit about, because I've had so much experience with it lately personally, is musicians' communication skills, or should I say lack thereof.
Yes.
What has your experience been with this, Matt?
Yeah, I feel like I'm a good communicator. I try to like message people back quickly and stuff like that. You just don't find it.
I would second that, by the
Yeah,
way.
you don't find it in often very like in the music scene. Like there are a lot of people who, I guess it's maybe an artist type thing, but it is hard to find somebody who messages you back promptly and, you know, thoroughly, I guess, too. That's another thing. Like just to give you all the information you need, or, you know.
Prompt. I mean, that's such an important thing.
don't
Honestly,
like
you know
being
what I kind
left
of feel
on
like it's from? It's kind of like that dating culture, like
Yeah.
where you're playing games with
It
people
might
all the
come
time.
from that.
Where, you know, it's like, I texted the girl. Does she text me back?
Power
Do I text
moves,
her
bro.
back? Yeah, that kind of shit. It's
It
like,
is.
you know, or the
It is.
girl's
It's like, how
waiting,
bad
like,
do they want me? Or
like,
whatever.
what do I
like,
text back? A smiley face? It's like, dude,
Listen,
I've never been about those
drop
games.
the ego, answer people back. It's not a game. That's my experience. It's like I don't care. Like I'll message people back immediately if they think I'm a loser because of that or something. Like I don't need to communicate with you.
If you think someone's a loser for messaging you back, you're kind of the loser.
Right. Or
like,
well, I just think it means it almost sounds or people can interpret it as a means of desperation. Like they message me right back. They must not have nothing going on. You know, like that. Fuck that, dude. Like I message people back because I'm trying to be courteous.
well, my phone's usually in my hand.
Yeah.
So
I mean, yeah,
if you
who
text
doesn't-
me, I'm gonna text
Who
you back.
doesn't have their phone
Yeah.
on them all the time anymore? This is a new age. Like there's no excuses, you know? So let's go through some tips on how to be better at communicating.
Yeah. We've come up with some tips, and then we'll share some stories on kind of like
on
how people have failed us in the past. Maybe number one, prioritize business communications. This is huge because if I text Matt like, do you want to get dinner, and he doesn't get back to me, like that's one thing. That's
Right.
fine. You know, maybe I'm annoyed, but it's not the end of the world.
Right.
But if I text Matt, hey, looking for a guitar player, $100 Saturday night, can you play? And he doesn't text me back for 6 days, I'm gonna be pissed at him because I was asking him first.
Yeah.
And I need to
you
know
wanna-
yes or no, because if it's a no, I need to go find someone else.
Yeah, and you want to allow the person to have a little bit of time to get back to you because, you know, obviously you don't want to just move on and then they call you back like an hour later. And,
Right.
you know, so you got to give them some time. But then when they don't message you back, you're like, how long's too long? You know, like it's been a day now. It's been 2 days. It's been a week now. And I got
I
no
would
response.
honestly say like 2 days is about the time where you start raising an eyebrow.
Yeah.
Like, okay, it's time for me to take action again.
Right.
You know, which leads us to our second one, which is following up.
Yeah.
Following up is important, but like you were saying before we started, Matt, maybe following up too much is
It's a
bad.
bad
So
thing,
what,
too, so
where
there's a
are
fine
you
line.
drawing the line on that? What
Exactly. So my thoughts is that if somebody doesn't get back to me in a day, like if a day goes by and I don't get any response from that text, I'm thinking they might not have got it, right? That's my first thought. I was like, okay, I got no response. They didn't get it. They forgot to respond something. So now I need to follow up. So I hit them up with another message. But my thing is that I don't only message people back one time. Like after one follow-up for me. Like, I'm not a salesman. I'm not gonna follow you up 10 times. Like, if you don't
that's a
answer
good
me
point.
twice, if I text you twice on in 2 separate days, I'm assuming you're not interested. You're out. But now I'm also mad because you made me wait a whole day to find out if you're even available, and I got nothing from you.
And here's
good
the
luck
thing.
ever getting a call from me again.
Yeah,
you know
and
what I mean?
if you want, and if you need to find a drummer, let's say for a gig, and you have the gig's Saturday, you have 6 days to find the drummer.
Right.
You just burn one of those
Whole
6
day,
days,
just
and
because
if
you're
you
waiting on
have
somebody.
trouble finding a drummer, you're really getting stressed out at the end.
Yep.
Because you're wondering who the hell So your first guy leaves you on red. You're like, damn it. And then the second guy can't do it, gives you a straight no. He's a good communicator. Third guy can't do it. By the fourth, fifth guy, you're like, oh my God, I'm sweating
now
now.
I'm close, right?
And this guy's like burned a whole one of my days that I would have liked to have had back.
And it's just rude. Like, just answer some. So that leads to us the next one. Don't be afraid to say no.
Yes.
Like, just answer them. Like, if you can't do it, or even if you're unsure, be like, hey, listen, I might have some stuff going on. Go ahead and try and find somebody else. And if it works out and you haven't found anybody, I'll be there. Or I'll try to be there.
It's good communication, people. You
just
need
answer
to
'em.
reply. If I say, Matt, can you play this gig on Saturday, $100? Matt knows he can't do it. Is he going to put his phone down and walk away? No, he's going to say, hey, man, thanks for the offer. Glad you thought of me. I can't do it. I'm busy. But I know X, Y, and Z who you should contact because
I respect your time. And that's a huge thing. Just respect the other person's time and get back to him. Let them know whether or not it's up in the air or not. Even if it is questionable, like, I don't know, it's probably a no. Then just, let them know that, or tell them, let them know that you don't know.
I think so many things come back to respect, and I definitely think good communication is one of those. And again, we're particularly talking about our first point, which is business communications. And when we say business, we mean your music business, your music career.
Right. Because
I'm not talking about texting your girlfriend back.
Or a party or anything
however
like that.
you do that is on you.
That's different. Like, we're not talking about that as far as business communications. We're talking about, talking about professionalism and building relationships with people that you're going to work with, that kind of thing.
Because, and this has been a real life example right now. I'm working with a producer who's trying to get a pianist and a vocalist, the same guy, piano vocal. I don't know how you would say
combo,
that. A vocal piano guy, whatever. Anyway, good singer. He's trying to get him in the studio to lay down some tracks, and the dude will not reply.
There you go. I mean,
it's a paid thing for this guy to be able to come in the studio, lay down some tracks, get paid, go. I mean, we should have had this done weeks ago.
Exactly.
And I keep talking to the producer, and he's like, because I'm in the middle of moving. So I literally, only reason I have my studio set up right now is because that session's scheduled for Wednesday, and he hasn't even bothered to reply and confirm. So, and I know he doesn't know any of these things, but still, it doesn't matter. Your lack of respect for communication, things like that, ripples out to other people's lives. The
fact that he doesn't know that you're moving or whatever is regardless, because he should just assume that everybody needs an answer quickly. Like, you don't make people wait. It's not a polite thing to do.
Here's my thing. And we were talking about this a little bit off air. This happened. We were talking about this too. You and me occasionally have both done this where, this is funny. I didn't realize this is
it's the next one.
I'm literally going into our next point.
I could tell.
Forgetting is not an excuse.
Exactly.
And here's how I was going to explain it.
Yep.
Occasionally Matt and I were talking about this happens to us because we're both proud of being good communicators and fast repliers. And if somebody emails me, I email them back. Several times I've gotten someone emailing me back saying, wow, thanks for the fast reply.
I know.
Like, this really moves things along.
And I like that.
Yeah. And I mean, it just moves shit along faster.
Exactly.
But sometimes you'll read the message. This is what I do. I reply in my head.
Yep.
And then I'll get distracted because I'm always distracted.
Sure,
and I'll put my phone down and forget about it.
Yep.
And I'll be like, oh, I texted Matt that like yesterday. Why didn't he reply to me? And I'll go back and realize I never replied to you.
Right. And I've done the same thing where I've typed it all out, everything. And then maybe like the very last thing, and maybe I even try to hit send, and if the button doesn't it doesn't connect or whatever, and I just put the phone in my pocket. And then
this week that happened to me where I'm typing. I hit send with my thumb and immediately turn my phone off and realize I didn't hit send. I hit above send.
And then you realize
nothing happened.
And then you start going off on like the communications, like, man, this guy sucks at communication. Why hasn't he gotten back to me? And then you look like, damn it. And then you hit it back.
My bad.
Sometimes it goes so long too that you have to actually rewrite it. I've done that before where I'm like, damn it. And that sucks when that happens. But the point is we're trying to make here, the next tip is, it's not an excuse.
Forgetting is not an excuse. And I would say this too.
It's still your fault.
It's your fault that you forgot, and that's fine. But here's the thing, forgetting occasionally is fine.
And it's not just the sending, actually. It's forgetting to reply. Like, if you get a message from somebody and then you don't reply to them because you forgot, like you read it real quick and you was like, I'll get to them in a minute, and you forgot. Right. That's still your mistake, and it's still rude. Like, you can use that as an excuse, but it's not okay.
I would say doing that once in a while is
it happens.
Not acceptable, but it happens.
It happens.
And but here's the thing: if you do that with every text message I send you, don't tell me you forgot to reply. It's like and this is not the case with Matt, but I keep using him as an example. If I text Matt and he doesn't reply for 4 days, And then he replies just like nothing happened. Like I'm like, hey, Matt, are you available Tuesday? And then he replies on Wednesday saying no.
Yeah.
Like,
and then, or how about I reply? I've had this happen to me before. I reply like, you finally get a reply from that person. Then you're like, okay, cool. So they can do it, right? Or whatever, right? They can do it. And thank God I'm saved, right? You message them again, like to get a details or whatever.
Details, yep.
Or whatever. And then they get another long
2 or
time
3
goes by.
days.
You're like, no, like this is not how this works.
So
you're lucky if that happens, if you confirm the gig with me like late, first of all, and then I message you again and whatever and give you details or try and get farther with it, and then I have to wait another 2 days, it's over. Like I'm out.
Yeah.
Like that's to me, I'm moving on.
100%.
Because you can't rely on the person anymore. Or how you know everything to show up the
it's
gig.
like if you do that,
show up the gig 2 days late.
If you quote forget 2, 3, 4, 5 texts, you're not forgetting. You're just terrible at this.
Bad habits. That's what it is.
Yeah. And so another example is I had a gig for someone, paid sound engineering gig, and I texted this person and I said, hey, I have this gig for you, $100, $150, whatever it was. Not a ton of money, but paid gig for someone looking for work.
Sure.
And I didn't get a reply for 1 week, and then. And so what I do, I am super anal about this. I don't keep my texts in my phone. I clear them out after the conversation's wrapped up.
Right,
I clear them out. So it sat there on my phone for a couple days. I was like, fuck it. I deleted it.
Yeah.
And then I get the text back like,
and you have to figure out what
days later. I think it was over a week later.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, I think I'm out of town or something like that. And I was just like,
thanks.
Like, are you trying to get work, dude?
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot for getting back to me a week later.
Like, hey, I could have used that week to go find other people to do this.
Exactly. And that's an extreme case. Like a week, man, that's unbelievable. That's just unacceptable.
And here I'm thinking like, what is your excuse?
Yeah. What could it be?
Like, and here's one that I hate. Oh, sorry, dude. I'm just really bad at texting.
Yeah.
Well, fucking get good at texting. That all the time. It's 2019, dude.
You get that in the dating game too. Fuck.
It's not hard. You type and then you hit a button and then you put your phone back in your pocket.
It's a lame excuse. It doesn't even work.
It's so hollow.
It's less. It's less than I forgot.
Dude, people are, and this might even be, and this is true in the dating game. I don't know if it's so true in the professional game, but people are scared of that shit. Like you said, they think they're going to come off desperate, dude.
Right.
Me personally, I don't give a shit.
Me neither.
I will text you back immediately, and I don't care what you think. I'm just like, am I desperate? Whatever.
Everybody knows they got their phone in their pocket. Everybody in this modern day has their fucking phone in their pocket.
Usually
all the
in
time.
their hand.
In their hand most of the time, right? It's just crazy to think that somebody can't get back to you in a meaningful time. And don't be afraid to say no. That's just such a huge point.
That's a huge point.
Like just because you're going to say no doesn't mean you should be afraid to answer, or be afraid to answer if you're going to say yes. Just don't be afraid.
Yeah. I honestly think the being afraid thing comes down to a confidence thing, or like maybe an insecurity thing, Like I am very comfortable knowing that I'm not desperate. So I'm going to do whatever I want. And I know I'm not desperate.
That's how I feel about it.
If you think I'm desperate, that's fine. I know I'm not.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean?
Rarely, this comes down to like the giving a shit about what other people think about you.
Yeah.
Rarely do I contemplate that. Like I think I had a problem with it early.
I think it comes from inside.
Maybe.
I'm starting to realize that. Not giving a shit what people think comes from you
security,
knowing that like I'm good. Yeah. I'm cool.
Yeah,
you think I'm not cool? No, I'm cool. It's fine.
Right,
like you know what I mean?
I'm successful in lots of things. You can add up your, all that stuff. So it's like you can definitely draw from your confidence to make that happen. I don't know.
And I'm just now drawing a parallel to this stage fright.
Yeah.
The best way to get overcome stage fright is get confident on your instrument.
Yeah.
Get good at your instrument.
Yeah.
Because then when you're good on your instrument, it's like, okay, I'll play it for you. I'll play it for you. I'll play it for 100,000 people. I don't care. I know I can play it. So I'm going to play it forever.
Absolutely. That's a great point. And that breeds on stage as far as your performance goes. Like it actually shows better, when you are confident. So if you barely got the thing and you're up there kind of just looking at your neck constantly and, you're obviously not used to it.
You're not in control. And that's the biggest thing. You got to be in control.
You're on the edge of losing it. So
the last 2 points about communication are minor ones. We've hit the big ones, but we would say cater to their timing, which we'll talk about in a second, and communicate through the correct channels. So that last one, if it's more professional to go through email, go through email. If someone prefers to talk on the phone and you hate talking on the phone, talk on the phone, right? Because that's how they prefer.
That's how they prefer
cater
to do
how they want to communicate.
Exactly.
I don't usually want to talk on the phone with most people. Some people I like to talk on the phone to, like my close friends and stuff.
Sure.
But if I'm trying to talk to someone else and they want to call me, I'm not usually digging in. I would prefer a text or something.
Right. Especially if you don't know the person, it's kind of nice to be able to have some time to respond to person. Because
at the very least, text and say, "Hey, can I call?"
Exactly. Right. So and just use their preferred method. That's a big thing. Like email, text. Like there's lots of different ways. Whatever they message you, that's a good way to always message them back. Like don't.
Yeah, that's a good point.
If they text you, text them back. Don't call them
I had to learn
immediately.
this doing the church gig. I had a musician who I would text, or what did I do? He would call me. I would miss the call and I would text him back.
Right.
And
That happens too.
And he came up to me one point and says, "Hey, I don't like it when you do that. When I call you, I want to talk to you.
Yeah, there you go.
Call. Don't text me back." And I'm
Good for
like,
him.
"That's a good point. Like, I should have read that.
Good for him
and
for
known
saying
that
it.
getting a call means you want to call back.
Yeah.
You don't want to text back.
Sometimes it is more efficient to just talk it out rather than try and message it.
Definitely.
And I mean, and certain people, you know, I'm not gonna like say all older people, but older people definitely aren't as used to texting as younger people. So like younger people text all the time, and if you're talking to maybe an experienced engineer, give him the common courtesy to meet him on his terms.
And a step further, some older people think texting is almost like rude.
Yeah,
You know, like, hey,
definitely.
don't send me a text. Call me, talk to me, look me in the eye. You know, that kind of shit.
Yep.
And the last thing is similar to that. It's catering to their method, cater their timing too.
Yeah.
If you know it's a good friend and he's up at 4 a.m., text him at 4 a.m. Otherwise, maybe, you know, keep it to business hours. or
Also,
something, you
where they're at, Los Angeles, you're texting, you're calling
you
somebody
have to
else.
keep
Don't
time
call
zones and
don't
time.
call them at 5 or whatever, you know, I don't know, 5 in the
know.
morning.
We've worked with people in London and stuff, and they're 5 hours ahead of us.
There
So
you
if
go.
we
So
call
you have
them in
to
the
work
evening, it's 3 in the morning there.
Exactly.
Like, you know,
So
like,
definitely
did I do that
remember
right?
to
I
hit them
think
up
so.
at the right time.
my time zone math is not the best.
That's all right.
That's going to wrap up our communication segment.
Yeah.
We put it at the top because we feel it's important and we want you guys
We've
to
never
get the
talked
most out
about
of
it either, and it would be nice if everybody had better communication skills because we'd get a lot more done in this world.
Yeah. I mean, and the reason it came up on this episode was because I don't know about you, but I personally have been struggling with this with like
too.
4 or 5 people this week.
Me too. I have it all the time. But it's also like a great thing because people are going to want to work with you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yep.
if you are hard to communicate with, you're probably going to notice, and maybe you don't even know why because nobody will say it to you. But you're probably going to notice that people don't want to work with you anymore. Like they'll start dropping you, or they won't call you, or won't message you anymore. So, just understand that it's a huge thing that people are going to judge you on.
Stop telling yourself you're a bad texter or you forget. That's stupid.
That's on you. If you're telling yourself that, then you're perpetuating it.
If you're telling yourself that, you know you're bad at
Exactly.
it. So get better.
And you're doing nothing about it.
I don't
right?
just sit there and say I'm bad at guitar. Sorry. Like, you should have got a different guy. I'm just bad at
right,
guitar. Like,
right.
No, I'm going to get better.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
And the other example I'll give you of bad communicating, just because it was the other one that happened to me this week. I'm trying to get together with a guy to meet up and discuss like some potential business stuff. And I hit him up with a date, like, hey, because I'm fast about that. I'll say like, hey, you interested? Yes. Okay. How about Wednesday at 6?
Yeah, hit them up with some dates, immediately times, whatever, right?
Take control of the situation.
Exactly.
You know, hey,
Get
I'm
some
not
out
going to
there.
wait
Get
on you to
something
do
out
this.
there, yeah.
I'm going to say Wednesday at 6? ? Whatever.
And if not, they rebuttal with something else.
Didn't hear back for 3 days. And after the 3rd day, I was like, okay, well, I got shit stacking up.
Yeah,
that piano
You're more
session,
patient than I am, dude. One day
piano
goes by and I'm
session-
messaging him again. I'm like, all right, are we doing this or not? Because
that piano session
Yeah.
was well, I did get a tip from someone that knows him that he has a particular like project he's working on this week that's pretty big.
See, that's another thing. Cater to their timing. So
Right.
if you know something like that, then use that for your advantage. Because you know somebody's
so
schedule.
Wednesday at 6, I had a session pop up, so that slot got taken.
Right.
So when I originally asked him, it was wide open.
Right.
So that got taken. So I texted him back, said, hey, could we do 8 instead of 6? And he texted back right away and was like, yeah, 8's better for me than 6. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Why couldn't you tell me that before? Why
I'm
couldn't
glad you
tell
texted me
6
back
doesn't
now,
work?
but damn, like,
Yeah, exactly. It would have been a lot easier.
yeah. All right, that's enough communication stuff.
Yeah.
Let's change the
Stressful
subject.
just
to some-
talking about
some
even.
lighthearted stuff, man.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these. Polls we did.
Ooh, yeah, dude. We had a bunch of them because we did Supergroup and we also did the weekly poll.
We did Supergroup or not, which we'll get into. But first, let's talk about the weekly poll, which the most recent one we did.
Yeah.
Was
AC/DC versus Led Zeppelin.
AC/DC versus Led Zeppelin. Yep. So who came out on top?
We had Led Zeppelin on top by just a mere 5%. So it's 55
10%.
Led Zeppelin, 45 AC/DC, right? 10%.
Oh,
my bad.
I 5 from 50 though. I guess that makes sense. But 10 apart.
Right.
Yeah,
you're right.
is that kind of what you thought would happen? I'm honestly surprised AC/DC didn't get blown away. I thought most people would vote for Zeppelin.
Yeah.
Which they did, but I thought it'd be bigger.
I think Zeppelin has a deeper sound and a deeper, like they go deeper than what AC/DC is more of like a party
That's
band.
definitely true.
So if you're looking for that intelligent type music, Led Zeppelin's there more than AC/DC is.
But also, Zeppelin had a lot of different sounds and a lot of evolution.
Right. Versus
AC/DC has
AC/DC is
almost
very
none.
one-dimensional, or at least they stuck to their perspective style, and they really didn't deviate. And even through lineup changes, think about it, they changed the whole lead singer and the sound didn't change very much.
Yeah.
From Bon Scott to Brian
What are the
Johnson.
odds of that, dude?
Kind of crazy. Like,
It's kind of like, hey, we're looking for this singer. Oh shit, this is the
we
same
got
guy.
one. And he lives he lives right here or whatever. So it's crazy.
That's hilarious.
Crazy. And he's not the same, but he's very close.
Yeah, he's got a little more.
So yeah. So that was a good one. I like that one because there's just like those are huge rock bands that kind of everybody likes, but if you have
which
to
maybe
choose
on the
one or
surface
other,
seems which maybe on the surface seems like random, but we chose it because of the Stairway to Hell or Stairway to
Stairway to
Heaven
Heaven and the Highway to Hell, right? It was the cool dynamic of that animation. So You want to go over to some of these supergroup or nots?
Hit me.
All right, so I'll go ahead and go in order. So Audioslave was one of the first ones, and this is a controversial one because it's 3 parts Rage Against the Machine and 1 part Soundgarden.
So it's basically the same band with a different singer.
Exactly. So we were debating whether or not that constitutes a supergroup.
Which is interesting because would you call AC/DC with Brian Johnson a supergroup?
Right.
Because that's what this is.
Good point. But they didn't change the name of the band.
Right.
There's one thing, right? So that makes it not a supergroup because it's still the same band. They just changed
ACCC.
one different letter.
Yeah.
So that's different about it. But so you throw Chris Cornell in with Rage Against the Machine and call it a new name. It's Audioslave. Is that a supergroup? According to our audience, 63% say yes and 37% say no. So they're not willing. It sounds like the audience is not necessarily counting like a situation where the band finds a new singer and calls it something different. It's not supergroup. So let's see what the next one is.
Okay.
Velvet Revolver, another
similar situation. Read out your red text.
So here it is. So 3 parts Guns N' Roses, 1 part Stone Temple Pilots, which would be Scott Weiland, and then 1 part Relatively Unknown, which
is Kushner, and that's kind of he does the music for F is for Family though, right?
I didn't know that. That's cool. That's cool. I like that show.
It's really, really good music, not just like slamming on a guitar.
Right.
Like it's
so
thought
this
out
one,
music.
so this one looks like the fans went 40% yes and 60% no. So overall, it's no.
And see,
and it must
I really
be because
wish
the 1
we
part
had.
Unknown.
I really wish we had like a why. Like
it would
why
be
did
cool.
you vote no?
It would be cool, but that would be a lot. We'd have answers all over the place. But yes, I kind of would like to know how people voted and what they were judging it on, because we definitely got some comments. And don't do this. You can do it, but you're gonna get the same response. Don't comment and say they're mediocre. No, like that's not what this is about.
Somebody commented. So we both run the Instagram, so we both see what the other one says. To like,
I kind of run the stories, and Dallas runs the rest of the stuff.
Posts. Dude, I've been terrible this week. We need to actually. Speaking of, you guys are about to be in for a moment. We're gonna take a selfie now.
Oh, good. Live on air
selfie. Oh, dude, hold on. My hair is so bad because I haven't showered today.
Oh,
I'm just
all right.
dirty
I don't think we're gonna. Nobody judge Dallas on his hair. My hair is.
All right, here we go. I gotta get this little stickum thing. What do they call that thing?
What, the button thing?
Podcast on 3, 1, 2, fuck. All right, that's
me. Like we're having a good time.
That's going on the Instagram, and that's Matt with his tongue out and me saying fuck.
Yep, live coming at you.
So if you're listening to this episode, you're going to be able to go back and see this.
That was nice and random.
But what's funny is I've been slacking on the posting, so I meant to get a selfie, and dude, you know me, I'm never like, let's get a selfie.
Good on you, bro. Good on you, bro. You're making changes. You're working towards being better.
I'm really bad at it. All right, so them Crooked Vultures.
Yes. So are they
this one 100% yes for me?
I think how could you not? But and the results came in
resounding 88% yes.
Yeah, I can't believe it's not 100%. But so this is 1 part Nirvana / Foo Fighters with Dave Grohl, 1 part Queens of the Stone Age, Josh Homme, and 1 part Led Zeppelin, which is John Paul Jones.
Yeah,
and that is
an interesting supergroup for sure.
Killer too. I mean, what an awesome sound. I mean, it still kind of has that Queens of the Stone Age vibe, because I think Dave Grohl's really into that anyways, and Josh Homme is the founder of that, obviously. So
yeah,
and then John Paul Jones, just amazing bassist that could do anything
and versatile. Keyboards, organ, all that
could just do anything. So here's a good one. This is kind of an interesting one. Ozzy Osbourne's Blizzard of Oz. So this is a specific record we tried to make.
55% yes.
Yeah, and 45%
same as the AC/DC Led Zeppelin.
Pretty much. So we got 1 part Black Sabbath, 1 part Quiet Riot, 1 part Rainbow, and 1 part Uriah Heep. All great bands.
This was his first album with Crazy Train, right?
Right. Did this one have Crazy Train on it? Blizzard of Oz,
I think, was Crazy Train. If not, we sound real dumb.
No, it's just hard to keep them all, man. There's a lot of Ozzy and Black Sabbath stuff. So
fun story real quick. The other day I was sitting there and I was like, I remember new Ozzy being like really cool. And I went back and played like some new Ozzy, and I was just like, oh right, dude, this is good. Like
what?
I Don't Want to Stop.
Okay.
What
record was
Zakk
it from?
Wylde and shit? I think that was Black Rain or maybe the one after it. I don't know. Anyway, good stuff. It's Zakk Wylde just shredding and Ozzy being Ozzy. But a couple of the songs like sound like he's changed. It's like he's modernized a little bit. Like his voice sounds like a modern rock dude.
Yeah.
Like if you didn't know it was Ozzy, you might be like, this guy sounds kind of like Ozzy, but I don't think that's Ozzy.
Right.
Kind of that thing.
He definitely evolved and became like a powerhouse. I mean, I was watching some of the like No More Tears stuff is really awesome.
No More Tears is great. The song,
right?
Phenomenal.
It's not the album name, is it?
It is the album name, I think.
Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But I was talking about that song.
Yeah, the song's amazing, and like when you listen to him sing it, like it's just like you realize how versatile it is. But here's the thing about this one that I'll say: it's under Ozzy's name, so that's kind of a weird conundrum. Does that count as a supergroup, or is it Ozzy?
I would go no with that.
Yeah, you say no.
Yeah.
Well,
if it was a band, if that was the band, and they were called fucking Osborne,
We'll say they're called Blizzard of Oz,
yeah, whatever.
Blizzards,
Like
the Blizzards,
like,
whatever.
If that was
right.
the name, like I would be like, yeah, for
That's
sure.
a super
But
group.
it's Ozzy Osbourne,
But it's like
and he
a
hired
solo
those guys
act.
around
So it's
him,
either
you know?
solo or it's a super group, and this one would fall under solo.
Well, it's kind of like if I put out a record and I hire Greg Howard and all these guys,
Right, you call
like,
Dallas Dwight.
it's still my shit. It's not a super group.
Right,
you know?
right.
Even if I hire all the right guys,
Right.
you know.
Good point. Okay, so we'll say that one ended up being yes by 10% again. So next one, Adrenaline Mob. I don't see how you dispute this one, but apparently people didn't understand. So we got 1 part Symphony X, 1 part Dream Theater, 1 part well-known Shredder, which would
That's
be
Mike Orlando, right?
Right.
He wasn't that well known though. He was pretty well known.
He's known as a Shredder, I think. Like
He wasn't well known at all though before the Adrenaline Mob.
that's a good point.
So I think you have actually
Maybe I
two
wrote that one
relatively
down.
unknowns.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But
so
you have
that's
Russell.
where
You have Russell Allen and Mike Portnoy, which is awesome because Dream Theater and Symphony X are so similar.
yeah, and then you got
that's
this
so
prog
cool.
metal fucking. But still, this is more of a hard rock group, not a prog metal.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's really cool that they kind of grouped up and did something different. Because Mike Portnoy, I think, can do anything.
He does everything.
I think he can just do anything.
He's
he
in like
wants.
17 bands at any given moment.
He's amazing.
But yeah, good on him.
Which leads us to a next one too. He's also in Liquid
Wait,
Tension.
well, what are you
Experiment.
voting on during the mob? You.
Oh, what did I vote?
What are you voting? What is
Now
your
that I
final
think
vote?
about the
Two relatively unknowns. Yeah, I'm going.
Now that I think about
I'm going
him being,
no.
yeah, I'm gonna say no too, and that's what the overall majority was. It was 59% no, 41% yes. All right. So
By the way, you guys should vote in these polls when you see them.
absolutely,
we love
absolutely. I mean, there's the more interest, the better idea we get for what people really think, and we just want to really explain what the idea is. It's not, is this group good? Because obviously these groups have made a name
we're
for
going
themselves.
real technical with it.
yeah. People like definitely are kind of missing the point here, but that's all right. Well, I think after this, maybe we'll do some more and people will catch on. So here it is, Liquid Tension Experiment.
Look at baby John Petrucci.
I
and
love the baby
Mike
faces,
Portnoy.
bro. All of
And
them.
Jordan Rudess with all of his hair.
Yeah. So we got 3 parts Dream Theater, obviously, and then one of these, which Jordan Rudess, he was added after Liquid Tension
Yeah,
Experiment.
so I actually saw an article on this. Maybe you sent it to me
I
recently.
posted it on the story actually.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yep.
It was basically saying they were doing this band with Jordan Rudess, and they were like, "Fuck, this guy's amazing. We
Yeah,
need
we
to have
got to
him in
add
our
him on
band."
Dream
So-
Theater, right?
so
Well,
they
he would
added
be
him in.
an amazing addition, and they were
and good on him because Jordan is a big part of
Huge.
some of my favorite moments. Like, so for example, one of my favorite guitar riffs was written by
Guitar?
Jordan Rudess on the keyboard. He wrote the riff.
was it on
keyboard.
guitar though? Because he plays
No, it's
guitar
guitar.
too.
It was the main guitar
Okay,
riff of Dark
okay.
Eternal Night.
Oh, he wrote the guitar part. Cool.
He wrote it out on keyboard because he writes a lot of the music.
Right. Well, he's a genius when it comes to that composition.
Yeah.
So composers.
And
he was on
a
our episode.
TMTS guest.
Yep.
We've had him on the show.
Yep. So go back and listen to that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this was, when these guys were all younger, kind of in the early days of Dream Theater.
This was
and
like right around the first, second, third Dream Theater album.
right, and then they
took a
broke
break
off
and
to
did
do this, and it was an instrumental type thing, so no singing. And they added Jordan
stuff,
Rudess and didn't have the singer involved. So, and then when they came back to Dream Theater, they brought Jordan Rudess with them. So that was really cool. Anyways, the overall consensus was 61% no and 39% yes.
That's interesting.
And I wonder why, because maybe people don't know
'cause
King Crimson as
well,
much.
maybe because the group isn't that big.
Maybe that's it too. But is that part of it? Is a supergroup constituted by how big it got plus the members that it was? Because that's, in my mind, I don't think so.
Oh, you know what one we didn't do that we should have done?
Well, we're still doing more, so don't count it out.
I got one for you then.
Okay.
Well, let's finish this up, and then I'll write it down. So
Yeah,
I don't
we're
forget.
getting there to the end here. So the next one, Chicken Foot, which is an amazing group.
and going to make another appearance later in this episode.
Yeah. So we got 1 part Sammy Hagar, who's amazing. Like he was part
And-
of
and-
Montrose.
okay, keep going.
And Sammy Hagar solo stuff. 1 part Joe Satriani, also like very Satriani. God damn, I can't even talk right now. Joe Satriani, who has done tons of solo stuff and made a name for himself.
He's very
obviously.
famous just in his own right.
Yeah, exactly. So, and 1 part Van Halen with Michael Anthony, and then 1 part Red Hot Chili Peppers with Chad Smith. So,
71% said yes. I 100% agree with the way this is now. The only reason you could rationalize the no is if you count Sammy Hagar as a member of Van Halen and then make that 2 members of Van
yes,
Halen.
that's the loophole kind of way to think about it if you wanted to really rule this one out. But
we were getting real technical with it, with the music history here.
yeah,
And my argument was that Hagar was famous before Van Halen.
right.
So
right.
when he joined Van Halen, that was almost a super group. That was like Audio Slave, right?
It kind of was, but
Yeah.
they still called it Van Halen, so that's the
AC/DC thing,
It's
kinda, yeah.
AC/DC kind of
But
thing.
they merged because Hagar was very famous with his solo stuff. I Can't Try 55 and all that shit.
Exactly. So they found this powerhouse singer that they already knew from Montrose and Hagar himself. So, yeah.
But Chickenfoot's phenomenal. You should definitely check him out.
Absolutely. And that's all I got.
Okay, so Black Country Communion.
Ooh, good one.
It's Glenn Hughes,
Yeah, I'll write
bass and
down.
vocals. And
saw
Glenn
him more
Hughes
in it,
is from Deep Purple, but also famous.
Yeah.
Doing his own thing. You have him on there.
I have some more. Oh, I already have them on there. God, I didn't even realize that. All right.
So Glenn Hughes, who's one of my favorite singers of all time.
Cool.
And then you have
that was literally going to be the next one I posted too. Now that I look
nice
at the order
Jason
of it.
Bonham,
Yep.
of course, famous for lots of reasons.
Yep.
Joe Bonamassa.
Well, Jason Bonham
Famous.
is really more famous because of his dad, though, right?
Sure, but he drums around with a lot of people.
The Bonham experience is really
He's not
cool.
famous for any of his bands, but he's famous for his name, for
Right,
sure. And he's a good
absolutely.
drummer.
Yeah.
So Jason Bonham, Glenn Hughes, Joe Bonamassa on guitar, and then Derek Sherinian from early Dream Theater on
Yeah.
keys.
So we'll let you guys decide on that one, but I think it's pretty
I
obvious.
think that's pretty clear. That's a yes.
Okay.
Also, great music.
Yeah.
Really, really
Yeah,
good
definitely
stuff.
check
If
that
you ever
out.
want to hear Joe Bonamassa, like if you ever wanted to hear like Glenn Hughes with like a sick guitar player,
Right.
there you go.
Yeah. Awesome combination there. Cool. So there'll be more of those. Keep an eye out for them and keep voting, guys. Thanks for participating, and we'll get to the bottom of this.
We don't have a poll of the week this week, but we will make more super groups this week throughout the week. We'll do maybe like one a day.
I'll find a weekly poll too. Find something. We don't have to
Okay,
announce
cool.
it now. I'll figure something out.
Okay, so we have big announcement time.
Yeah, let's do it. We teased this on the last talk show episode, and we've had a couple.
I think it was
interviews
actually
since-
2 talk shows ago, wasn't it?
Didn't we have an interview or 2 interviews in a row or something? How did that work?
No, we
just
had
forgot
a
to maybe
talk
bring it
show
up on
and
the
then
last
we had
talk
Andy
show.
Wood.
So yeah, we've been teasing this idea, and let's just go ahead and say it. You ready?
Hit it.
Let's do this. We're talking about doing a concept record, and we want it to be fully involved with you guys. We want you guys to drive it and make decisions on what it's going to be about. Anything.
And
like we can
we'll figure out
debate
some involvement.
everything.
Yeah,
Yeah, we're
sure.
going to literally just have you guys there every step of the way. And me and Dallas are going to produce and record these epic
Songs.
concept
Yeah.
songs that are going to be.
So we wanted to do, like, we've been talking about this forever, but we think the Musicians Talk Show should kind of
Create music.
create
Be a
music,
content
which is
creator.
cool, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the 24-hour EP kind of was that.
That's the beginning of that. Yeah.
But this is going to be just you and me.
Yep.
And we might bring in some other people to play some stuff, but probably just you and me. And it's going to be awesome.
Yeah,
we have some high level ideas.
Yeah, we've been kind of, we have ideas kind of in the works, and lyrically it's going to change based on what you guys decide this is going to be about.
We have 4 theme ideas, which we'll dive into, and you guys are going to pick which one you like the best.
Yeah, do you have those up? Because I don't really have them right here. I know you have them somewhere. Didn't you have them written down somewhere?
I don't remember.
Damn it.
Probably not.
Oh, well, in text message, I think they're there.
They're in our
We've
text
talked
message.
about it.
Your chat, I usually don't delete because we never stop talking.
And it's always relevant.
I was going to say high level stuff. I was thinking we'd do 10 songs.
Right.
So, I mean,
A nice size
full
record.
album.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually did delete it since we had that talk.
Okay, I'll find it.
So,
But yeah,
10
nice
songs. And one thing that I feel like was
full
really
record.
important to me was in true concept record fashion, each song blends into the next song. So it's
Right.
basically one long, like 1 hour
In our
song.
mind, that's the way a concept record works. It's like a nice flow of songs that tells a story throughout the whole thing. So
Sure.
we're gonna pick
One of the best
a
concept records of
topic.
all time. What was the name of the album? Scenes from a Memory, Dream
Okay.
Theater.
Okay. Yep.
I almost said Dance of Eternity, which is one of the songs on there.
Yeah.
Okay, do we want to dive into these ideas now?
I think we should go over them a little bit just so we kind of like, instead of just giving people a title or a topic, we'll kind of see what, like, show what we mean by this.
This is going to be interesting because some of this is going to be art by committee,
Right.
which is weird.
It's weird, but it's also still in our hands. We want to take your opinions and we want to take your
We want to take your
suggestions.
opinions on certain aspects
Exactly.
that we will feed
and
out.
we will tell you what those aspects are, but
Right.
we hope you all enjoy because you're a part of it. That
Right.
these songs will be kind of part of you too. So
Right.
and hopefully you guys dig it. So here we go.
so hit
Let's
me up.
go through it.
Hit me
First
up.
one is Space Odyssey.
Okay, talk me through that one.
So I'm thinking this could be about a futuristic space travel, like planet to planet.
Mm-hmm.
Could get crazy. We could talk about aliens. We could talk about all kinds of little things. Make up, Rick and Morty style, kind of.
Right, right.
Like think Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Or-
One thing we didn't say, but we should say, is that we want this kind of plot driven.
Right.
So like whatever theme we decide on, Matt and I will then sit down and write
it
like
out.
basically a 2-page story.
Yes.
On like,
Where this is going
who
to
the
go.
character is, where he's going, what is the conflict, all the story.
Yeah.
shit
And then
that
we can
makes
take
up,
our riffs and kind of figure out what riffs work for what part of the story, and we'll figure that out.
Okay,
So
number
that's
2.
Space Odyssey. You read the
Space
second
Odyssey.
one.
Number 2, Ghost Possession. So this is actually comes from a dream I had.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Where this ghost being thing possesses people just by simply like passing through them, and then it can control them based on how it wants. So it's very
cool.
like ghost horror possession kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that
could be fun,
I mean,
man.
there's really not much more to say than that.
That could be
but
dark
it's dark
and gloomy kind of. That could be really cool.
the word I would describe is like helplessness. Like the protagonist is trying to figure out how to combat this ghost and like stop. But every time he turns to like, oh, Matt, damn it, this ghost blows. The ghost possesses you.
Right.
And then he's like, fuck, God damn it, you over here.
I can't talk to anybody
Like
about
I can't
this.
talk to anyone because as soon as I talk to them, they're gone.
They're
dead.
taken.
And he basically realizes that he has like the death touch.
Yeah.
You know, like
Did
if I talk
there's
to you,
this
you're
parasite,
done.
You know, there's this parasite that takes over. I know it takes over like this praying mantis' video online, and I'm pretty sure like I saw it maybe on Joe Rogan's podcast. It's a parasite that takes over the praying mantis' mind, convinces it to drown itself.
I have heard that.
And then hatches in the water to and uses the praying mantis' body.
That's nuts.
It is nuts. That's
I'm not a bug guy.
No, me neither. I don't like spiders.
I have to preface this story.
I like
with,
snakes.
I'm not a bug guy.
I don't like spiders.
Check this out. I'm sitting on my couch, stand up, walk to the kitchen, fucking praying mantis on my oven.
Oh, I don't mind praying mantises.
Fucking big guy.
I don't
dude.
mind them though.
Yeah, but what do you do with that? How do you get him out of
Put
there?
them on a stick or something.
Dude, no, I'm not into
I
that.
don't mind praying mantises. I mean,
not
like
into that.
spiders. Fuck
This thing was
spiders.
creepy, dude.
Fuck spiders, dude. They're little, and it takes one little bite and you're dead. Or
This
you
thing
can have
was
a
the
hole
size of
in-
my hand.
Yeah, but that's a praying mantis. They're not poisonous.
I don't want them near me though.
They eat leaves.
Fucking big.
They eat leaves. They don't
big
even
ass
eat
bug.
He is big.
I'm not into
I get that.
Not into a big fucking bug.
All right, so let's do the third one.
All right, number 2.
So ghost possession is
3,
cool.
sorry.
That could be really cool. So guys, think about that. Maybe you guys could take these and run with them too. We'd like to hear your, ghost possession's cool. We want to hear like that, and
Maybe you could blah.
right,
yeah.
right. So anyways,
All right.
third one, apocalyptic end. So this would be like in my mind, I think City of Evil kind of, but that's not a concept record. That's a pretty metal record Avenged Sevenfold made.
I feel like it could have been a concept.
It could have
It's
been
interesting
if
that
they
it wasn't.
if they led into it that way, but it didn't really tell a whole story like we're talking about.
Yeah, sure.
This would be cool to walk through a biblical end of the world kind of thing. It doesn't have to be biblical.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be, but biblical seems to be the most epic render of the end of the world of how it could be. It's already kind of written, but we could morph it into something. That one's kind of already like been done a lot, I think, but it wouldn't be a bad thing to revisit and do our own way. So that one's out there too.
And I already have a very good apocalyptic chorus.
Oh, great.
That I will show you that I feel like is very creepy.
Cool.
Actually, you know what? Dude, straight up, that chorus could work for 3 of the 4 of these.
That's what I
And
think.
we should totally use it. But all right,
yeah.
so that's Matt's third
that's my
one.
third
That's
one.
the third one. The fourth one. This one's kind of hard to explain, so maybe you can help me because I've explained it to you a little bit.
Yep.
And the best way I can describe it in 2 words is criminal torture.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have a twisted mind. I'm sorry. I had this idea for like, how do I explain it? So, all right. So there's this guy and that sounds so stupid.
Is it
right now.
justified torture? Is that what this is?
Kind of. So it's this
the
guy's
conundrum.
that's job is to go into the darkest, worst prisons, find the people that did the worst things and just fucking let them have it. Dude.
Right.
I'm talking people that raped like 10 women, like just destroy them slowly.
These horrible people. Almost
Horrible
like a
stuff.
Dexter complex. You remember the
Kind
show
of,
Dexter?
yeah, kind of, yeah.
So he's a serial killer that killed other killers.
So
That's
what
his
happens
idea.
in the thinking of this is like, is he right? Is he wrong? And he's sanctioned by the government, but he's so secret and like back that like the government's
almost
like,
feels
dude,
like,
we're hands off. If you get
right.
caught, like
You're on
we
your
didn't know
own.
anything about
Yeah,
this.
yeah.
Like that kind of shit.
So the premise being there that there's this guy who's starts out trying to do the right thing, and somehow he finds himself into this secret, whatever you call it, society, not society, but
he is the guy.
right. He's the guy. He is
I
the
think
guy
the
that has to
conflict
do this
comes
thing
in
for
where
the
some
government.
sort of agent or cop starts to realize that some
Questioning
shit's
him.
going on.
And he starts questioning him, and he's
And
like, "No, listen, I'm the
he
good
starts
guy."
trying to figure out like that this guy's around,
Right.
And he starts honing in on him and
he's like,
chasing him.
"Who is this guy?
But
What's he
this guy, and I imagine he's pretty old and like
Yeah.
super, like you would never guess. Like he's an old guy,
Right.
Like
Unassuming,
60s,
unassuming.
70s,
Yeah.
And I mean, you'd never guess this is the guy, and he's extremely good.
That could be cool
at
because
covering his tracks.
I could see
you
that
know?
being kind of like a almost a detective kind of thing.
Sure.
Like have a real feel of a detective type sound, I guess, or like putting all the pieces together type thing. That could be.
This
cool.
is my personal favorite.
That would be super like complex. I think
This is my personal favorite
yeah.
one because I feel like it's unique and
It's deep.
it's the most thought out for
Yeah,
sure
for
on my
sure.
part. And then another thing I would say about it that I just forgot. So you talk for a second.
just justified. I like the fact that it's like the question of justified torture. Like
remember.
there is this government thing where now we're like we literally debated this as a country. Do we torture terrorists? You know what I mean? Is it humane to torture terrorists? And some would say yes, some would say no. So it's kind of like one of those things that's questionable anyways.
Right.
What were we gonna say?
I was gonna say, so these are for the criminals that are for sure getting the death penalty, right? Well, in this world, they don't. They get life in prison. So everyone's like, wait a second.
Yeah.
They should have gotten the death penalty. Like plenty of people that weren't as
So
bad
are
as
they
them got the death
torturing?
penalty.
Here's the question.
Well, here's the thing: when they get the life in prison, they don't realize that there's this special like winky face attached to it. That like, hey, this
He's gonna
this
fuck
guy's
with
going
you
to this
once a
guy.
month or
Like,
whatever, or-
show the prison guards like whatever. They know what's up. Like this is one of those
Life
guys.
in prison's not enough, so they have to
Right,
go
torture
through
for
this
life. Exactly.
torture for life. That's
but
crazy.
the government doesn't know. The judges,
Right.
everyone's
It's
in on
all
it.
has to
Everyone's
be
in on it, but
underground.
it's very much like don't tell anybody about this.
Wow,
You know, like,
that's deep. That's
yeah,
deep.
and
I could see that
it's
being
just
heavy.
the whole theme is.
Could you see that record turning super heavy?
Oh yeah,
Like I could see that just being
Well,
like
creepy and dark, not even necessarily
It would
heavy,
start
you know?
out like kind of like almost secrety, kind of like sounding, you know, like or just
suspicious like,
kind of
that
sounding,
kinda
right?
stealth.
Yeah, and then it goes into this heavy thing of like torturing, you know,
Yeah.
criminals. I don't know. That's cool. That's a cool idea.
If I'm voting, I'm voting for that one just because I think we could do some really cool shit with it.
Yeah, I think my favorite is the Space Odyssey. I'm not just saying that for my because
Yeah, I like that one a lot,
love
too.
Rick. I love Rick and Morty, and I love how endlessly,
That's also a unique one.
Well, I love how endless the plot gets. Literally, they could write Rick and Morty's forever because they make
Yeah.
up planets. They make up, you know, just it can keep going forever. I just like
Right.
that idea.
Yeah, the infinity
and
of space.
and the sounds of space sounding stuff would be fun to make. You know,
Yeah.
like doing some cool like whir sounds
Soundscapes and stuff, yeah.
that'd be really cool. So, anyways, we're gonna put some polls
We're
up.
gonna figure out the best way to do that.
What do you think? We'll do like because two of these ideas are Dallas's and two of them are mine.
Yep.
Maybe we'll do mine versus yours and mine versus yours. And
was
then
thinking,
the winners of those two.
What if we did mine versus mine, yours versus yours,
Oh, okay.
and then mine versus
okay,
yours?
that works better because that way it's still
either
me
way
and you
works,
at the
but,
end, right?
yeah.
Either way it works, but it is me and you at the end.
Oh, I didn't think about that,
right.
but that's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Well, let's do that then. Cool.
Okay,
You
perfect.
heard it here first, folks. We do half of our shit like planning on air.
Doesn't take long, you know, and hopefully everybody else likes
So
hearing
there
how
you
we do
go.
it.
I would like to. What do you think the goal for the release is? I think the release is New Year's Eve. We got to have it done in 2019.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. At the end of the year, we'll be releasing that along with.
Now, if we
doing
release it
solo
earlier,
of the
that's
year.
cool. But I think we release it.
Maybe we release
That's the
like a
deadline.
single or something or a teaser off of it, like something that comes out really awesome, getting close to the release of the whole
You know
thing.
what this means, though? We got to get cracking.
I can't wait. It's gonna be fun.
Almost March, dude.
I know.
Like,
I know. We have to make up some time because we're
we have
starting
9
kinda
months
late.
left.
Yep. But 10 songs, 9 months, not bad.
Oh, we'll do it because I write in spurts.
Yeah.
So I'll sit
get,
down
like,
and
2
write
songs
6
or
of them.
3 of
like,
them, right,
you know,
right,
like,
right.
and then it'll be
Absolutely.
like, then I won't write anything for 3 months. And I'll sit down and write 8. You know,
Yeah.
it's like,
Same thing with me as far as like lyrics goes. I'll just get
Yeah.
super motivated to write lyrics, and I don't know where it comes from, but you know. And I tried to actually when we did the 24-hour EP, I tried to curate that. I tried to
like get some like
let
topics
the
and stuff.
juice
Yeah.
build up,
Yeah.
not let it out. Even if I felt like writing, hold it in for a little bit longer.
That's
Because
kinda
I knew I
smart.
just had like a 24-hour EP coming up that I was gonna have to come up with a bunch of ideas. Not that I had ideas, but I was building up creative energy, I guess.
Right.
So
It's great.
yeah. Anyway, so that's that, man. Hopefully you guys dig that idea. Let us know. If you guys want to message us, DM us. Like if you got some great idea, maybe you have your own idea. Maybe you don't like any of the ideas. Hit us up. Maybe we'll add it. Who knows?
Yeah, for sure.
Just always-
and we'll
always
figure
be-
out other ways to keep you guys involved as we go on.
Back to the communication thing. Don't ever be afraid to talk to us.
Yeah, or
respond.
anyone.
Or,
The
yeah.
worst thing you can hear is no.
Right.
Like, just ask.
Right, it's
Tim
not a big
Ferriss
deal.
has this great thing where he says, next time you go get coffee, ask for a 10% discount.
That's good.
Like, why not?
Why not?
Like, they're just going
They
to say
might.
no. Okay, you're paying it anyway.
They
Like,
might. They do it. They do it for
But he said
military.
like 2 out of 5 times they'll be like, yeah, okay.
That's crazy.
Isn't that nuts?
That is nuts, dude. Because what if it's like an employee discount and they're just like, I'll give them a discount.
Yeah, sure,
Sometimes
whatever.
they give you free stuff.
Like,
I've been
like they're not prepared to handle you being like, hey, can I get a 10% discount on that?
yeah, especially like why? Like
Yeah, I get. Like, if you look at them dead in the eye and say that and just
Yeah.
don't back down, they're
Yeah.
probably going to be like, oh, okay,
I guess so.
I have to do this. I didn't know.
It's so funny.
Do I ask my manager? Like,
It almost feels manipulative, but it's not. Just
no.
just throwing it out there.
People don't expect you to be forward and, you know,
Exactly.
kind of alpha.
Exactly. Yeah, it is.
Not
It's
in a
like,
bad
it's
way.
like it's like almost like coffee is not a negotiation, but somebody who comes to negotiate coffee,
Yeah.
they're like, I guess I'm going to take this serious. I guess I'm going to entertain this.
Well, I follow Ramit Sethi, and he says he's Indian, his family's Indian. He said the Indian culture, they're shrewd negotiators.
yeah.
And he said though he doesn't do it, but he's been around people that like negotiate like their groceries.
Yeah.
Like they'll pay for $100 or be at the checkout, and they'll be like $100, and they'll be like, I give you 85. It's like no.
You know, it's funny too, though. I've heard also this is a bad tendency, I would say, and I've heard people who say this about, you know, I don't know, just people in general who like to haggle a lot. That if they'll come up with a price, they'll agree on a price, and then after it's agreed upon, then they'll start negotiating again. It's like, no, that time for negotiation is over once
Yeah.
we've agreed upon
Yeah,
a price.
that's not very good.
So that's the same kind of person tends to do that too, and that's not cool.
The key to winning a negotiation though is being willing to walk away.
That's
So
a
if
good
you're not
point.
willing to walk away, you've lost.
Yeah, it's a good point.
So you got to keep that in mind.
Yeah, you're good either way. That way the other person.
Yeah, it's like, hey, I don't need this guitar.
Yeah, exactly.
So if you're not going to meet my price, you're not getting anything. You know? Do you want 300 or do you want 0?
Yeah. And when it comes to coffee, I mean, like it's worth it. I get it. That Tim Ferriss thing's funny.
Yeah. Which you could apply to anything, really.
Right.
Anyway, you wanted to talk about the Travis Barker post we posted.
That was a good post.
Did we talk about it a little bit or no?
We just posted it on Instagram. We didn't talk about it yet, but what I like about that is how much he opened up about being an artist in the beginning and trying to figure it all out. He's like talking to the counselor. Like that was the part we highlighted, is that he was talking to the counselor, and they were like,
the career counselor.
They were like, what do you want to do? And he was like, I don't know, I just want to like play drums. And they're like, well, that's not an option. I love that. And he's like,
how stupid is that though?
It is stupid.
Rogan said it, and he's 100% right. That's terrible.
Yeah, and he said, and then Travis followed up with like, it would be, how crazy would it be if they were motivational instead of like, all right, that's a hard road to go down. Let me explain to you what that means for you if you're going to be a drummer. You know what I mean? It's not out of the question. There are people who are drummers out there.
Oh, for sure.
And they make tons of money doing it. You know, so how are you going to tell somebody that they can't do it?
It's hard to go too realistic without sounding like you're being down on them. You know?
Yeah, exactly. But it's not necessarily, you can be motivating while giving somebody the truth. You know what I mean? You can be like, listen, you can do that, but be willing to do this. Are you willing to do this? Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to starve? Are you like that kind of stuff? Like,
yeah.
And then that'll show you how motivated the person is. If they say, yeah, I don't really, I'll go without eating a day or
you're going to get kicked in the teeth
right
800 times before you get a yes. You know, are you willing to do that?
Exactly. And just explain to people that that's a much more testing, like more like trial. You're going to be tested a lot down that road rather than going into a corporate job where you get to just punch in and out at 9 to 5 or whatever. Yeah. Drumming, being an artist is not that. Being an artist is being on all the time, trying to push your work on to people and promote, do the best thing you can, right? And you're always
working on the art side or you're working on the business side.
You're always so self-critical. You're constantly trying to, be better. And it is a hard road. I'll have to say that. I think they say musicians have the most depression out of like anybody.
Really?
Unfortunately, I don't know why that is, but apparently it's the case. I don't know where I don't know the statistic. I wish I did, but I don't. That's just what I've heard. Anyways, Travis Barker also opened up about his plane crash and stuff like that. It was a really good episode if you guys want to check out.
And this is crazy. I never really put this together.
Yeah. Tell this.
I was episode 1, Daniel Kyer, one of my childhood best friends. I was hanging out at his house. We were writing music or whatever. And his mom asked us to go to this party. And we were like, we're good. We're going to hang here and keep doing what we're doing. We're just kids playing video games and having fun.
Didn't know what was going on either.
It's like, we're not going to party. We're going to hang here.
Right.
She went to the party. That party was the party that Travis Barker and his crew were at, and they left early from and then crashed in the plane.
Crazy.
That's Columbia, South Carolina.
Man,
crazy.
And the story he tells is
so his mom came home. His mom came home and was like, "Oh my god!" Like,
found out the
thing
news.
just happened. Like,
that's crazy.
We were just there. Like,
man, And his story is even crazier. Like when you hear how it went down. I mean, I think he was the only one who survived it.
He was the only one or one of like 2 or 3 maybe, but there weren't a lot of people on the plane. Right, it was a private plane. So there was like 6, 7 people, and a lot of them were his friends. And the pilot, I know the pilots died. There were 2 of them, and then his friends died. There were 2 of them. I think there might have just been the 5 of them on there, but I am not.
Yeah, I'm not so super up on it, but man, what a crazy story, and for him to come back, like they talked about, like how his PTSD and stuff like that is overall,
and the burns and like all the crazy stuff.
Yeah, the grafts they did and stuff. So yeah, crazy. I'm glad he opened up about it because I never knew really the whole details of it.
Yeah, that was nice to hear that you bring it up. So on to more positive things. Our buddy Joel Hoekstra has put out some new music with Whitesnake.
Valentine's Day.
Yeah. So what was the name of the song? Shut Up and Kiss Me.
Shut Up and Kiss Me.
Which is a hilarious name. I feel like that's like a pop. Bubblegum.
It is kind of a pop song,
but it's Whitesnake, and the song's good. And Joel plays the opening solo, which is sick, and then some other solo in the song, but I don't remember which one. And then Reb Beach, the other guitar player, plays some other stuff as well.
Yeah, killer song. I like it.
It's a good song, and the production's good, and Coverdale sounds awesome. The harmonies sound amazing. I'm really digging it.
Yeah, so I
can't wait to hear the rest of the song. The rest of the album.
Yeah. And the thing about the rest of the album too is 18 songs long.
Yeah, 3 of them are like video, like related things that aren't really their own tracks, but it's still 18 is a lot. So we kind of started talking about EPs versus LPs.
Yeah. Nowadays, and singles too, like throw those in there because, the hip hop and R&B type singers will put out a single, once a month or
almost only singles.
Right. Almost only singles. They don't even worry about an album anymore because the day of going to buy a record is not there. And you can download one song just as easily you can download a whole album.
And my trajectory in the past was let's write an EP, get it out, 4, 5, 6 songs, and then we'll work on a full length. It'll be, 12 or 13.
I like the EP idea because I think it gives a little bit more for everybody. Like you can kind of diversify your songs, and like it can be 3 songs that one song catered to this type of person, another song is catered to this type of person, and you can have a real well-rounded release rather than one song.
That's
is
a
just
good point.
kind of targeted.
Yeah, I don't know if I would personally go so like analytical with it. But,
Well, I thought of it after the fact. I really don't think about it when I'm writing stuff like
that's a
that.
good point.
But I do think about it after the fact that like, oh, there's this song which maybe this person likes, and this song, like.
But I've kind of changed. I've kind of changed my tune. I don't know that I will release an LP in my current state of mind. I don't really see the need. I would sooner write 12 songs and release 2 EPs.
Yep.
Because I feel like an LP is a big pill to swallow. The one time I'll make the exception, which is funny now I'm saying this, is for something like a concept album.
Right, and that's a different thing because that's one artwork in itself. It's
basically one song.
Exactly. So Forbes just wrote an article, and I was kind of reading up on it. It's that the music album is dead, but not everybody's willing to accept it. So they're saying that nowadays. I
don't know if Forbes is the final.
But they're a business. They're a business oriented podcast, or not podcast, publication,
organization,
syndication, whatever you want to call it. And they have been focusing on like how people release nowadays, and
I think an EP is definitely more palatable. Like I'm more willing to listen to your 4 songs.
Attention spans have
perfect
died.
example. Greta Van Fleet's EP, 4 songs.
Right.
I ate it up. I loved it when it first came out.
Yep.
Their full album, I think I've maybe listened to it once.
Isn't that weird?
I just don't have the patience. And so what happened is recently I looked in the mirror and I said, I don't have the patience to do this.
And you have to.
No, I can't expect anyone else to. So I'm going to be more releasing EPs.
Well, I mean, and face it,
or singles
attention
or
span of people these days, everybody wants everything now. They want it quick. They want it.
Streaming didn't help that aspect of it because I can listen to your song and then I'm bored halfway through. I'll go listen to Guns N' Roses. Or I'm bored of that. Now let's go listen to John Mayer.
Exactly.
I'll go instantly to anywhere I want. I don't have to change the CD.
Nope.
I don't have to be like, oh, well,
that's a good point.
I'm driving. I can't change the CD. Let's just listen to this album.
You're not invested in the physical aspect of changing the CD. You can just literally click on another song.
I don't even have to do that. I can make a playlist. I can say, hey, Siri, play blah, blah, blah.
Right. Think about that. You just be like, Alexa, next. Yeah. It's interesting. So that's interesting little debate. And nowadays, I mean, it's more prevalent than ever that, how should we release our music as musicians, Yep. And it's still, obviously there's good things for certain people and there's, some things work for people and some things don't work for people. So albums, I'm still releasing an album because I'm a fan of the album. You know what I mean? Like,
well, yours only has 8 songs though, right?
Yeah. And it's kind of a shorter album, but
it's on the cusp. Yeah. I would not call 8 an EP. But it's also weird that I feel like it's not quite an LP. It's kind of like in that weird in between space.
Yeah, CD Baby had a good article too about that. What is an LP? What is an EP?
Yeah. What did they say?
I think they were like. I think they said 3 to 5 is an EP. Still.
That's what I would say. I would say even 6 could be an EP.
Yeah, 6.
When you hit 7, it's kind of like, all right, that's too long for an EP.
Hey, do you remember Jason? Who's
7, 8,
bass
9,
player? Bass player for Metallica. Newsted. He put out an EP, and then they told, and this was probably 5 or 6 years ago, and it was called Newsted or whatever, but it was 3 songs or 4 songs.
He had his band, didn't he?
And it was good, man. I really liked the band actually, is how it sounded and stuff. And then I remember thinking to myself, that was the first time I became aware of like, oh, this is the new way they're going to do it now. They're going to release 3 or 4 songs at a time. That way you're not as invested either. Like say the project doesn't go anywhere. You're not 10 songs recorded and produced and all the work done, and then you find out
more money too.
Yeah, that people aren't really interested in that sound.
Your producer charges $3,000
especially if you're
song,
going for that success. If you're going for something that's gonna launch your career, or something, or build your career at least. Yeah. If you're doing it for the passion, then there's no either way. You just because the only argument here is what is gonna sell better. What is the best way to present your music? You know what I mean? Like it's not necessarily like because the music is the music. Like if Metallica wants to put out an album versus a EP. They don't care anymore about like who's going to digest it. They're millionaires. They can put out an EP if they want. So it's more about how you want to sell. Like
and I loved Stone Temple Pilots with Chester Bennington. They put out a 4-song EP that I really liked.
Yeah. That's
sure I'll get hate for that.
That's interesting too. But that's interesting too because it's almost super group-ish.
Kind of, yeah.
But it's the same.
Didn't change their name though.
Yeah. So all right,
a lot of examples of that.
Yeah. So we're always debating that.
Let's talk about our solo of the week.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. Let's do one. We did Avenged Sevenfold last time.
Avenged Sevenfold. I picked Chickenfoot.
Yeah, which is awesome because we were talking about supergroups and stuff. And
then that's how it came up. And I was like, wait a second. I used to really like Chickenfoot, and I opened them up on Apple Music, and I started seeing the song titles, and it brought back so many memories. I was like, oh my God, I love these guys, and I forgot how much I liked them.
That's cool.
And I was joking that I would get so much shit because I'm picking a Satriani solo from Chickenfoot.
Yeah, especially like when it comes to solo of the year, I think people are going to look at that and they're going to go like, dude, why did they pick that for Joe Satriani? He does all these other things.
And I love Satch and I love his style. This is a style that I don't think he usually plays in. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm not a huge expert on him, but it's straight bluesy, plucky kind of Strat sound.
Yeah, so it's different. It's going to stand
He's
out
not
amongst
using a
the
Strat.
other
He's using
solos and stuff
his signature
too.
Ibanez's, I believe. But
Check it out.
it's amazing. Let's take a quick listen to it. Okay, there you go. Short and sweet. I love how he starts with kind of the wah thing, easing you into it, and then it clearly transitions into that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And he steers away from going high gain. Like he's very.
I love it.
Yeah, me too.
It might
Dynamic
even be.
is there.
It's hard to tell exactly, but it might even be finger picked.
Yeah, that's
you
a
get
good
kind
point.
of that pluck sound to it, and I love the one note he hits.
It's probably hybrid picking. I bet that's why we're hearing that.
It could be.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
that
hybrid
one
picking
note he
is when
hits
you.
that's real quiet.
Yeah. Just so everybody knows, in case you don't know what hybrid picking is, it's using your pick and your fingers that
Yeah.
are free from the pick.
Yeah.
At the same time.
I love hybrid picking. I do a lot of that. That's
just
how I
don't
play
wanna
the
leave
intro to
anybody-
Welcome to the Jungle.
Oh, yeah, it's cool. It's cool. I wish I was better at it. I need to really work on it. But anyways,
it's a good technique.
Satriani. I mean, what can you say about that guy? I mean,
This
geez,
solo is really short and sweet.
it's great.
You know?
It's great, and it's tasteful. It's perfect for the song.
Yeah. And I like it. It's kind of different than what you might be used to hearing from Satriani.
Yeah. So that's cool.
He's got some other good solos in Chickenfoot, but I chose this one because this is the one that really hits me home. Because for example, when or hits home with me, I should say.
Yeah.
When that part comes up, that first little blues lick, I'm literally like standing on my chair, like
Yes, I love that stuff. That's the guitar player geek in me too, you know, and you as
like
well.
I go crazy for shred and all that stuff. But sometimes just when the chords are just right and that perfect blues lick, I'm just like that was
hits the
lick
pocket.
right
He
there,
hits the
dude.
fucking pocket.
And
It's
that's the
perfect.
emotion that I guess you're talking about.
Yeah. So
Any other final thoughts on this solo of the week before we put it in the group that's going to be for the 2019 solo of the year?
No, I'm just glad we thought of that. I'm glad it tied into the perfect Chickenfoot supergroup thing too. So
Yeah.
so now all we got is our
One last thing.
featured unsigned artist. Is that right?
How do we say it? Unsigned artist feature.
No, featured
how we said
unsigned
it, yeah.
artist.
Yeah, that's how I have it listed here. See?
Unsigned artist feature. I never said it that way, but okay. That's
Either
what
way.
it is. The unsigned artist feature.
Yeah. So we have Sean Williams.
Yep.
And the song is called Shadow. Really cool, like I would call it outlaw, like almost
Yeah.
country, outlaw country
Yeah.
blues.
And I like it that it's very.
I get a Johnny
simple.
Cash vibe, but I'm not a Johnny Cash guy, so I don't know if that's accurate. But you guys can let
I like
me know.
how I like it's simple and it's thick and it's all there, you know. But it's really a good simple approach. I like that a lot.
Yep.
Good songwriting. So,
Yeah, on the Unsigned Artist feature, we
Beyond
don't
it.
spend too much time talking about it. We're going to let
No,
you
no,
guys
check
listen
it
and
out.
decide for yourself. So that's going to do it for us. You guys, dude, have a good week.
stay cool.
Matt, have a good week.
Thanks, buddy.
We got to get cracking on this solo album.
Yeah, we better start working on the concept.
have some
record.
ideas banging
Not
around in
solo
my head,
album. It's
so-
a concept record.
That's what what did I say?
This is your solo record, Dallas.
This is my solo
Turn
record.
it into your solo record.
We're going to release it under the Dallas Dwight name. But
that a
I
supergroup?
don't tell you that to the very end. You're
Is
like,
it
wait
a
a
supergroup?
second.
Is it a supergroup?
Supergroup because I'm super famous, but one relatively unknown. And that's my singer. You.
Yeah. You play with Duff, so then you're famous now.
Yeah, that's all it takes, right? All right, you guys, we're done dicking around. Have a good day.
See you.